Josh Widdicombe podcast. XFM.
Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones on XFM. This is the Josh Widdicombe radio show on a Saturday morning. And I was talking to you about that song now. Mm-hmm. It's off the album Let It Bleed. Famously got the cake on. This is the thing that we've established. You're not as into music trivia as I feel you should be. You know the album cover to Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones?
I can recall it, yeah.
Yeah, with a cake. Do you know who made that cake? This is Trivia 101, mate. You should know this.
Greg Wallace?
No, it's not Greg Wallace. It's Delia Smith.
Really?
It is, yeah.
Oh.
Before she was famous.
Wow.
So, see, it is interesting. These are the things you should know if you're going to work at XFM.
Is this going to make your DVD recording at Hammersmith?
I don't think it will, because everyone knows it already except you. You're the last person in Britain not to know it, and now you do. You should know. I feel like it's my duty to educate you on these things. It's come up a few times. I can't remember the other ones. The David Bowie cocaine and peppers diet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna set you a new task. I've decided off the back of this.
Okay.
So each week I'm going to give you a piece of trivia, starting with kind of the one, just the classics, and I want you to learn that piece of trivia, and then use it once in your week. Just in conversation, and then tell me how it got on, how it did.
So do you trust my word if I just kind of go,
Yeah, you just report back.
Okay.
You don't need to, you don't need evidence.
No?
No, but just report back on how that went down and where you used it. I mean, this one, people are going to go, yeah, we know, mate. Everyone knows that. What's your problem? Did you not know that? I mean, come on. I don't know how you're going to get this one into the conversation. Let's have a practice.
Okay.
Let's pretend we're at Pret a Manger. Are you eating in or taking away?
I might have some cake in. So.
Cake in?
Yeah.
What would you like?
I'll just have some of that carrot cake.
Carrot cake? Okay, that'll...
You know an interesting fact about cake?
Oh, very good. Yeah, no, I don't have an interesting fact about cake.
The cake on the front of the Rolling Stones album, Let It Bleed.
Yeah.
Do you know who that was made by?
Delia Smith.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
yeah, good.
Yeah. Okay, we can eat out now.
That's good. Right, so that's good. You can eat out now. I'll pay the slightly less prices. Okay, well, that's you worked out well. So that's your task for the week.
Right.
Quite excited now.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
This is XFM and this is Josh Widdicombe, and I'm joined this morning by my colleagues on the last leg, Adam Hills.
Morning.
Alex Brooker.
All right.
All right, yeah, good. You all right, Alex?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
Bit early?
It is. This is strange. I don't like seeing you in charge.
You don't like seeing me in charge. If you're not familiar with the last leg, I think because you're the guest, so I should do this bit as a kind of interview. So what is this show? What is the last leg?
Go on, Alex, you take it.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, right?
It's a weekly wrap-up of
Thank you,
the
Adam.
news.
Thank you.
It's a weekly wrap-up of the news. It's the show we did after the Paralympics, basically, but instead of wrapping up the day's action, we're wrapping up the week's action.
So we started as a Paralympic show. It's on Channel 4 at 9:30 now. It started as a kind of late-night Paralympics roundup show.
Yeah.
My first kind of exposure to the last leg was that I met a guy called Pete, who is the producer of the last leg, in a Starbucks. And he was like, we've got this kind of show that's going to kind of round up the Paralympics. It was going to be on More 4, but I think they might put it on Channel 4. You interested? And I thought, well, the worst case scenario, I'll get free tickets to the Paralympics. And now I've kind of been tethered to you two for 6 months doing this.
Can I just say, though, by the way, when we walked in here today, Alex very quietly just said to me, no matter what happens in that studio, I still think you're in charge.
Oh, so because you're in here, and we've been working together quite a lot, I thought this week's subject for discussion should be the worst work colleague you've ever had.
Yep.
At present company excluded. Have you, I don't know what you did before you were a comedian, Adam.
When I was at university, I studied to be a journalist, and I worked part-time as a tennis coach.
When you were a tennis coach,
Yeah.
and you turned up with one leg, did anyone go, am I paying full price for this?
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
This will all be over.
Frank Turner Recovery on XFM with me, Josh Widdicombe, and I'm still here joined by Alex and Adam from The Last Leg. Hello.
Hello.
You all right?
You all right? You sound increasingly tired, Alex.
No, I'm good. I've never heard that song before.
No, but we've established in my time for now. What are your top 3? What would be your desert island discs?
Plan B, Definition of Strickland Banks. Justin Timberlake. His last 2 albums.
His last 2 albums?
Yeah, both done.
Nothing else
Next.
needed.
Sorted, that is it.
That's it, I'm happy. Put me on a desert island now. Last 2 albums. Nothing else. Don't like his earlier output.
Wow. What about, like, if I just... There's a list here of songs that are played on this station. What if I just go through a few? Gorillaz.
I know Gorillaz.
Yep, okay, there you go. Jimi Hendrix.
I know of him.
What do you know about Jimi Hendrix?
He played the guitar.
That's the guy.
Amazing. Rolling Stones.
Also, Alex just made a face at me that said, I winged that one and got away with it. We are talking quite perfectly, as a segue, about the worst work colleagues you've had this morning. We've got some texts in. As always, me and Neil like to make a league table of these things. So get your pen at the ready, Neil.
Yep.
Currently, we have Alex Brooker, who doesn't know who Jimi Hendrix is at the top. Michael Kirkman has texted in. Now, I'd say Michael Kirkman, before you hear this, see if you think he's the bad one or the person he worked with. Michael Kirkman, I once sacked a guy because he looked like Bill Turnbull. Bill Turnbull from the BBC Breakfast News. Maybe I was a tad harsh. No, I say Michael Kirkman is the bad work colleague in that situation.
Yeah, I don't think you can say, I really, oh man, I had a hard time with that guy. Really? Why? Every time I looked at him, just the biggest Bill Turnbull head on him.
Also, Michael Kirkman, who's given his full name, so if the guy is listening, could definitely use this as evidence at a kind of tribunal.
Wow. I'm not sure that I can go better than that.
That is genuinely unbelievable behaviour.
Well, I think he's actually nominating himself.
He's nominating himself, yeah.
As the
I'd
worst
hope so.
person
Wait,
he's
he's
worked
done well. Have you ever been sacked? Yeah.
I got sacked from Barclaycards call centre in Liverpool, not for anything financial.
You're not Nick Leeson.
For checking the football scores on a Saturday on the internet. And I got sacked there and then, and I said to the woman, I was only doing it because I want to be a sport journalist and I only do this part-time. And she was just like, don't be so silly, you're not going to do a job like that.
Look at you now, not doing a job like that.
Just to add, I was a sports journalist for
You were a sports journalist for a bit. But you got sacked for checking your Barclaycard statements.
I used to be on radio with a guy who had irritable bowel syndrome, which meant that literally we'd be sitting there, we'd be playing a song, and he'd go, all right, there's 30 seconds left in the song, and then he'd go, you're going to have to do this break on your own, and then just run out of the studio. Neil had to play an extra song last week because I missed my link because I went to the toilet, but I went down a floor because below you get classic FM in the toilets, and I find it a more pleasurable experience.
Are we still on the subject of irritable bowel syndrome? Because a little while ago, my girlfriend said to me that she was like, I think that you might have it. And I said to her, genuinely, because I didn't know what it was, well, you need to stop annoying me then, don't you? And she just looked at me, despondent.
Alex Brooker and his irritable girl syndrome on XFM.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
This is Adam Hills and Alex Brooker joining me for the final link of the hour. Do you feel sad?
Not really.
Cheers, mate. We are talking about worst work colleagues, and my self-esteem has dropped so much since working with Alex Brooker. For the final link, normally of the first hour, we missed this last week because, as I've discussed, my classic FM toilet problems. If you've just tuned in, that isn't as bad as it sounds.
Does your toilet experience vary depending on what type of song Classic FM are playing?
Well, they played the theme to Jonathan Creek a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And I didn't enjoy that because I knew it. I like it when it's like, I don't know anything about classical music.
Yeah.
So I like relaxing, generic classical music.
Right. But if it's something rousing...
I don't like bombastic, no.
Really?
It's a relaxing experience. What do you like? Like
I just thought maybe that would have
marching
been
music or something.
Dum, come on.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Each week I'm just going to come back and I'm going to say the kind of music that I've been listening to in the toilet. I'm just going to drop it into conversation. So that's what. It's like a little extra for the listeners that have heard this bit. For the final link of this hour, we talk about good song, bad film, where good songs that have been ruined by being put. What have we had previously now?
We've had Queen Bitch, David Bowie from Damn United.
Yeah, desperately bad film.
Yep.
This week we've got a film. This was a readers, listeners.
Readers.
Can't wait for the listeners' wives.
What a sexy voice she's got. No, we've got a listener suggestion, which is Twilight. Mm-hmm. Now I haven't seen Twilight, but this is a special Alex Brooker moment because you've seen all of the Twilights.
Yeah, I've seen
Presumably you're a fan.
Not really that much. I just kind of went along with different girlfriends over the course of that was it.
So
It's not like I didn't go on my own or anything like that.
No, you're not a weirdo.
No. But I have seen them all.
So
the last one was good.
You can kind of mark when a Twilight film came out by who you were going out with at the time.
Yeah, that was Twilight Free, Karen.
What a great impression of my voice.
It was a bit too positive.
Sorry, Twilight Free, Karen the Slag.
So what are your views on the Twilight series, Alex?
The first one was terrible.
Are we talking about the films or the girls?
But the last one was rubbish until the last 10 minutes, which was good.
I really hope that you're talking about the girls. As relationships go, it's been rubbish, but the last 10 minutes have been good. You're dumped. I've missed the whole Twilight saga, so can you just fill me in on what Twilight is in a sentence?
It's about some girl who gets on a vampire and then wants to be a vampire. Then he gets on her, makes her a vampire, but she also likes some bloke who's a wolf. But he's got no chance, and eventually he gives up. Then he falls in love with her baby daughter, which is really weird because he's not only a man, he's also a wolf part-time as well. And at the end, they all have some massive row with some vampires from Italy, and then that's it at the end, and then they all live happily ever after.
That is a bad film. There's no way. There is no way that is a description of a good film.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
As always at this time, we meet up with our resident news hound, Joe Lycett. Hello, Joe.
Good morning, Josh. Good morning, listeners.
There's the catchphrase we know and love. You have now got a catchphrase, Joe.
I know, I love it.
Do you use it in your day-to-day life?
I do it every time I meet anybody, even if they're not called Josh or listeners.
Well, and that's why you're getting less and less friends. So this week, Joe...
Why my social circle is quickly diminishing to people called Josh.
So this week, Joe, we're going to do a From the Archives news hound.
Yes, this is what I would have reported were it 1953, Josh. Let me take you back to 1953. There's no internet. I wouldn't be talking to you down a mobile telephone. I don't think there was XFM back in those days.
There wasn't, no.
I don't
Producer
know.
Neil has confirmed that.
And this week, 60 years ago, Jospeh Stalin died. Woo-hoo! Yes!
Pleased?
Oh, delighted, Josh. I would have been absolutely moved.
What's your issue with him?
Because sort of Hitler did the whole genocide thing so well, people didn't really notice that Stalin was doing it pretty well. And so he gets completely forgotten about. Also, because he kind of helped us win the war, we sort of went, oh, all right, then you can sort of do a little genocide.
But he's a baddie.
He's a baddie, though. He killed millions of people. And he did it by, famine, apparently. He just stopped them from eating.
Pick us up here, Joe. This is the story you have chosen from history.
Yeah, but he's dead. Woo!
So what's going to happen after he's died?
Well, I didn't get that far on Wikipedia. But he had a bit of a bob on himself. He used to refer to himself as brilliant genius of humanity, father of nations, gardener of human happiness.
He did share your name, though.
No, actually, no, he didn't, because my name is Joe on my birth certificate. So, nice try, but I'm not the same as a horrid dictator, and I will not have it said.
So, thank you, Joe. Can you sum this up, as always? What have we learned from this?
We have learnt that Jospeh Stalin is dead! Woo!
Josh Widdicombe. XFM podcast.
Hello, James. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Good. What have you been up to this week?
Usual stuff. Gigging and making everyone laugh.
Oh,
Constantly.
very arrogant.
Constantly making people laugh.
I
went to M&M World.
You went to M&M World?
Yeah.
Good?
It's an atrocious place. Have you been there?
No.
It's
No, of course not. Why would I go?
Well, I went with our friend comedian Nick Helm because I knew it would wind him up. And also, they have no... I went in there to see if they had peanut butter M&Ms, which are really nice. And you can only get them in a few shops around London. And I asked one of the guys, you've got the peanut butter ones? And he said, no, you have to go to special shops for those, to which Nick just threw his arms in the air and gestured at the fact we were in M&M World.
Yeah. No, you know, you've got to hold something back. In M&M World.
Clearly.
We are talking today, James, about our worst work colleagues. Because I had some dreadful work colleagues on in the first hour. The top tweet so far, because as always, me and Neil like to keep a league table.
Yeah.
Is genuinely one of the most befuddling tweets I've ever received.
Right.
So this is a man, I think, presumably nominating himself.
Okay.
Because if he's not, he needs to be not, and someone needs to nominate. Michael Kirkman tweeted in to say, I once sacked a guy because he looked too much like Bill Turnbull.
I don't even know who Bill Turnbull is.
Bill Turnbull is the presenter of BBC Breakfast News. I don't know what to do with that.
Well, this guy, to be fair, could be the boss in charge of BBC Breakfast News, and all the news report. They can't all look the same.
What he'd meant to write was, I once moved a company to Manchester in an attempt to force out someone who was Bill Turnbull.
Yeah. You look like Bill Turnbull. You are Bill Turnbull, and I hate you.
You've had a series of depressing jobs, haven't you?
I don't know if I call them all. My first ever job was at Wicksteed Park in Kettering, where I'm from, and I remember the first day of that was the kind of like, it was the final cementing that I didn't want to do I couldn't do a normal job.
Yeah.
Because I remember I worked in the food outlet, and we would like serve ice creams and drinks all day, and this guy called Chetin, who was showing me around, showing me he said, this is where we put the hot chocolate powder, and you got to open the powder, the bags, but you got to be careful once, right? I opened it really fast, and all the chocolate puffed up in my face, and then later on I sneezed, it tasted like chocolate. And I remember when he said that to me, I just thought, I can't work here. I can't. If that's the best anecdote he's got for the whole time he's been here, I can't work at Wicksteed Park.
No. Oh, well, I'm glad. The problem is I made you a hot chocolate earlier.
Yeah.
I told you the exact same anecdote.
Yeah. Well, I do
very
just...
awkward.
A lot of my stories has changed the name Josh to...
Worst work colleague, you say? Well, let me start here.
I've worked in a lot of kitchens. I used to teach kids the drums.
In the kitchens?
Yeah, that's it. Pots and
You
pans.
used to teach kids drums?
Yeah, in a
Right.
music shop.
Well, that's going to be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song, because that's the kind of anecdote I want to settle down into.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
This is Josh Widdicombe on XFM, and I am joined still by James Acaster.
Big time.
Big time. And we are talking about worst work colleagues. Specifically, we are talking about your period as a drum teacher to children.
You see, my colleagues, no colleagues there really. Just
No
teaching
colleagues.
drums. It was the students, none of which ever practiced the drums. I didn't think that was necessary.
No.
But
How
a lot
difficult
of them,
can it be?
well, that was kind of the thinking behind it, I think, for a lot of them. But their excuses for not one kid, who was also called James, he was about 7, and his excuse for not practicing would get more elaborate every week as to why he wasn't doing it. But not elaborate as in, like, fantastic, but really bored. Once he just went, thing is, this week I've really been getting into writing down car number plates. So that's been taken
God,
up.
he really was like you, wasn't
Yeah. It was just like, I was like, well, fair play, mate. We've all been there.
Chip off the old
we've all caught the bug. I know what it's like. Write it down.
Oh, well, so he was your favourite?
Yeah, he would go around writing down. So he'd been going around just writing them down all week, like he was some sort of.
Let's cut to the chase. What's the worst work colleague you've ever had?
Oh well, no, well.
To give you an idea, listeners, James just looked at the clock. That's it to go. Settle down.
I mean, it's quite bad. I mean, but on my last day, I'd worked there for 3.5 years. Also, there was a girl who's her last day of work. She's a waitress. She'd been working there for 6 months, and she left in the afternoon. Her shift finished at 3, and she left with an arm. She had to have people help her carry her presents and cards out of the door. She had like a massive card that played a song when you opened it, and all day she kept on opening it and laughing, and they were all helping her lift all her presents into the car. Then at the end of my shift, which was in the evening, everyone just said, "See you later, mate." Shook my hand. I was like, fair enough. Maybe they got me, at least
Surprise coming up.
Yeah. And there was Josh, because I walked into the car park to my Ford Fiesta and discovered that they had covered it with dessert sauce and fish juice. And it was mainly haddock juice, which is the worst. Which, by the way, got into the air vents, and my car didn't lose the smell for a month and a half. Also, the dessert sauce, they were clever enough to squirt it underneath the handles of the door, so I couldn't access my cleaning products which I had inside the car. I couldn't get into the car. So I ended up phoning the perpetrators who had already gone home and making one of them come back and help me, and he was not. He said, "Why do you think I would want to come back and clean your car?" Which I replied, "Why did you think I wanted to?" I was going to be like going, "You guys know me, you know what I'm like. Last day.
What a treat."
Yeah. Haddock.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
This is Josh Widdicombe, joined by James Acaster. Your role on the show has become one of basically relating a horrific scrape every week, because as we know, your life is like that of a 70s sitcom.
Yeah.
You are an ode to kind of Terry and June. I'm just trying to change the clock back, so this is like BBC in the 1970s, which isn't a place we want to talk about. Let's move on. My favourite thing that happened last week is a lot of people started tweeting in with a hashtag for you. Of different varying hashtags.
Yeah, I mean, people need to. I think all the listeners need to get together and decide.
Set a hashtag.
Someone called me the Scrape Master.
Hashtag Scrape Master.
Someone just hashtag scrapes.
Hashtag scrapes.
I think hashtag classic scrapes.
What's your scrape this week, James?
We were talking about me teaching drums earlier, and then I remembered the most bizarre band I've ever been in, which I was in for all of an hour. I used to have singing lessons.
Because we can already tell you've probably got the voice of an angel.
I heard my speaking voice and thought, this is wasted on just conversation alone. I know this. I know I can make this sing, but I couldn't sing so much. So I could play the drums. So I went and I had singing lessons from this Italian woman in Kettering called Cecilia. Cecilia should just like leap on any idea, and she's like grade 8 flute. She said to me one day, I'm forming a band, and I was wondering if you'd like to be in it, because we need a percussionist to play congas.
Very cool.
Which normally, most people, that'd be a turn off immediately.
Yeah, for you. You thought this is like when McCartney and Lennon met at that fete.
I was like, I'm listening.
Yeah.
She was like, you're congas. I'm playing flute, and one of my students called Mike is playing didgeridoo.
Brilliant.
That's the full lineup.
And you thought, why not?
So of course I said yes, and
of course you did.
I lived like a few miles away from her, and so she was like, Mike, the didgeridoo player, can pick you up and bring you to band practice.
Did he have his didgeridoo on the roof rack?
He didn't. That would have been brilliant. Just with the wind going through it as he was driving along, like an Australian police car, just pulling people over. But basically, Mike turned up to pick me up from my house an hour early. I just got home.
So rich, this story, isn't it? When you tell and callbacks.
It's so much. I said, I'm going to have a shower. So I was thinking of chips. So I'll have a shower. He said, it's okay, I'll wait in the car. And he literally sat on the drive and waited in the car. And then I got in the car. And before we even got out my street, he was driving away and he just went, do you like conspiracy theories?
Oh, yes.
The first thing he said to me.
Lock the doors.
Yeah.
Do you like tinned food? Because we're going to my outpost where the world is going to end.
Don't worry, I know a safe place. Come on. Just me, you, a didgeridoo some congas. We got to Cecilia's house. It was just a jam, which for the listener is when you just let yourself go, let the music take you, and improvise. And we finished the first song, and Mike said, pretty good. The congas, though, are a bit too busy. Need to simplify them.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's fine. And Cecilia went, just do what you want. And he went, I'm just saying. Okay, fine. So we played again. I simplified the congas a bit.
Of course it is. Team player.
Yeah, I'm not going to rock the boat. Stop the song. Mike went, that was good. Congas now too simple. Start putting a few more flourishes in there. And Cecilia went, James, seriously, you don't have to listen to him. It's fine. And he went, look, come on. We're allowed to have an opinion, Cecilia. I'm just telling him. It's getting a bit heated.
Yeah.
We're about to start the third song, and Cecilia's next student arrives. Cecilia went, you can wait in that room. We'll be done in a minute. Or, if you want, you can stay and listen. And she went, what, have you formed a band? She went, yeah, this is our new band. And this lady went, well, my son is a music producer. I can ring him right now. And you can...
Well, Mrs. Spector, that's fine.
I mean, he's in a bit of trouble at the minute. But, so what she did, she rang her son there and then and said, hello, you're going to get quite excited. I've got a brand new band here.
Oh, my word.
And they'd like to play a song for you down the phone.
Oh, no. What?
So
no.
Our third time played a song is played to a producer down the phone.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, this is what? Biopics. Is this
yeah,
you can see the film being made of this.
You can pay for this kind of luck.
Yeah. So she's got us on speaker, and then we play our third jam of the day. Then at the end of it, Mike goes, James, the congas are all over the place. I'm not really feeling it at all. And Cecilia goes, no, seriously, James, do what you like. And then Mike gets up, slams his didgeridoo down on the sofa, and just goes, I knew this would happen. Two of you, you've got together, you decided you're going to gang up, you're not going to let me lead this band. Do you know what? You're poisoning this band. I'm not letting you infect his mind with your words and try and turn him against me. This is not what I wanted. I knew this would happen from the day you asked me to do it. I knew there's something about you, and I do not trust you. And it was really silent, and then he looked over at me and he went, do you still want to be in a band? And then at that point was when out of the phone came the guys going, Mum? What's going on?
Oh, that is amazing.
Josh Widdicombe podcast. XFM.
Still joined by James Acaster.
Just a bit, mate.
Don't mind if I do. And we are talking about the worst work colleagues you've ever had. You've got some tweets, James.
Yeah, there's some very good ones this week, but I think my favourite is Claire Newton, who says, I had a colleague when asked how are you, would respond fair to middling. And then she goes on to say, he also tried to bonk me at the Paris Air Show in 1991.
That's amazing. Where to start on that?
Yeah, fair to middling is very funny.
Yeah.
But also... The phrase bonk me, I mean, obviously I can see why Claire Newton's getting annoyed with fair to middling, because her vocabulary's excellent, and that's I'm not even being sarcastic. Bonk me is an excellent thing to say.
The Paris Air Show in 1991.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how,
he picks his places.
Well, you can see how he got swept up in the romance of being in Paris. It was the air show. It was 1991, the year of love. We all remember it.
We all remember it.
Also, I mean, you wouldn't want to bonk that guy afterwards, because in case afterwards he referred to it as fair to middling. That's the last thing you'd want. But also one of my favourites is Emily says, and this is aimed at you, obviously. My colleague calls you Josh Widdicombe and refuses to be corrected.
He's wrong, and he's a terrible human being.
I mean, she can record this and play it to him.
Yeah, Emily, it's Josh Widdicombe.
No one's called Josh Widdicombe
No one's called Josh
in
Widdicombe.
the whole world.
No, well, no. There's no one else called Josh Widdicombe either.
I'm the only James. I'm not the only James Acaster. Actually, I was about to say there's a rapper.
Is there?
There's a young rapper, and I've been confused
Is it
for him
not
once.
just you?
No, it's not. It's not just me wearing a hood. And I get into scrapes, all kinds of japes. No, it's not. It's not me.
Good improvising.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at rapping actually.
And this next song is some hip hop actually.
Oh, is
by,
it?
James
By James
Acaster.
James Acaster, classic scrapes.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Here I am with James Acaster. Hello.
Hello, Josh.
So it comes to the point where we've had our fun out of you.
Yeah.
So have you got anything to plug?
Doing a week of normal gigs really. On the 12th, I'll be doing a work in progress show.
Explain what that means.
That means it's not finished and doesn't have many jokes in it. At the Pleasance in Islington in London.
God, I didn't realise you'd got it up to standard already.
Yeah, already it's finished. So you could come along with Mike Wozniak,
Who's excellent.
is a
Very funny.
fantastic comic.
He has a moustache.
Yeah, if
That swings it for
and
you.
he sounds a lot more like a DJ than either of us.
He does. Cheers, mate. I'm going to My Bloody Valentine on Tuesday.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
I haven't been to see a band in ages.
No, I went to see them before, and they end with 20 minutes of feedback. No, not questions, not Q&A.
Maybe change your name. It's disgusting.
Do you think it would be better if you released an album quicker than every 20 years? Yeah. And you can follow me on Twitter at Josh Widdicombe.
At James Acaster.
Hashtag Classic Scrapes.
Classic Scrapes.
And there's to continue to promote the DVD record Hammersmith Apollo on September the 26th, where I and Sean Walsh will both be recording our DVDs. So it's only £17.50. What a bargain!
That's an absolute bargain.
That is an
Great.
absolute bargain. So you can get your tickets by Googling that, I imagine.
When I did the Hammersmith Apollo supporting someone, I got heckled with "little bit boring." So
So if that person's listening, don't come along. So thank you very much for coming along this week, James.
thank you, Josh. Thanks for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to Adam Hills and Alex Brooker for the first section, and for Joe Lycett for being himself.
Josh Widdicombe, podcast, XFM.